can. And I think they're going to be looking towards Peanut to try and string this together, because this is a composition that does a lot of things mid to late game and isn't necessarily able to get a whole lot of that power early on. Azir players like of notable skill level here in the LCK, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not even enough. Maybe it's like 8. Which is almost everyone, which is very, very silly. Here you've got Viper and Delight just pushing up into Sobro. We'll see whether it is going to be a plate going on over, as Peanut is trying to set up for a dive here, and he just walks on in, puts down the ground, and there is the concussive blows. They'll just get the flash out from Sobro and go about their business, and maybe just look for a redive as he does dodge out of the way as Viper picks up the turret aggro. Sobro outplays him, and that's going to be first blood going over to BNK FEARX.
Right here potentially, and because Zeka's also coming back.
Oh dear.
Daystar.
Yeah, Daystar does not have his R button available, as the culling is going to come on through, and there is the pillar. There is nowhere for him to go. I really think it's smart though. Valdez's boy Daystar not using his flash in that instance. He was very, very dead. The mistake had happened prior.
Yeah.
Let's not make it worse.
The summoners, because he teleported in to then lose his flash.
Can we get an Orcs check? Can we get an Orcs check as well as this dragon's going down?
Let's see.
Want to see whether this is going to be a Chemtech or not.
It's Cloud.
We will beat you. Like, this is, like, we don't really care whether we fall behind, whether we make errors in the early game. Like, we're going to win later on, do something about it, or just lose.
And in the moments leading up to this Herald contest, Delight's going to have to face check.
Well, does he have to? He definitely does face check, and in fact, he just puts up the door and he's fine. Man, that's some extra points into the door, I reckon, as the train has left the station. Kellen is going to leave the Rift. Has no bailout for him. It's a double kill of the bottom lane for the Scion in an instant. As the public execution onto Viper, he could be going down, bounced around. He's going to fall, but I just don't know whether it's going to not be enough to save BNK FEARX here, as Daystar looking for the charm. Another flash Winter's Bite goes wide there.
Narrowly avoids that Winter's Bite, but like Delight got the locket, they were set up, they were like, all right, we're going to force this fight. I know they're likely in this bush, and we're ready to just pounce on them because Braum can tank it. We can just ult them and then turn with Zeus coming in with his ultimate. Like, I feel like even though they couldn't see, they knew everything.
Well, Daystar is able to use his ult to get out of the way of the Scion, but that was very scary for HLE just because of the shenanigans that happened immediately afterwards. Rift Herald does come on through though. That is going to spell the end of this outer turret as Diablo takes a full culling to the head. And now Zeka is going for a bit of a drive. Peanut turns up, finds Daystar yet again. Remember, doesn't have the ulti, and the Azir is coming in. My God, the drifting on this man. Just swoops onto the turret, takes it down, and now it is Zeus's turn. All right, checking the brush there as well. Man, HLE is showing off. Have they been taking driving lessons from Peanut? Because of his cool motorcycle driving that he had that season, that one time as Raptor's dead. Crescent Guard does do a fair bit of work there in that moment. Public execution into the backline for Sobro, but the Emperor's Divide says, no, you are not dashing out of that one, and it's Delight that gets the kill. Zeka gonna flash immediately as he was extraordinarily low.
Both sides start off a fight, but when it's broken up like this, I mean, BNK do fall like dominoes.
Well, nice handshake there from Kellen onto Viper, but he takes a Winter's Bite. That one's going to land. Viper does have to get himself out of the way, but just has to use a dash for it. Daystar will find the angle on this bottom lane, though, and there are some resets to come in. A double kill for Diablo at the same time. BNK FEARX going to be very happy about that, even if they aren't necessarily out of the woods.
Say a lot of things about how Viper is playing this first game, but respectful, I would not be one to describe it as...
No, well, this is not respectful, but like, does Zeus need to? It's a bailout. Let's see whether that is going to work out. They almost take down Peanut, the Subjugate. Almost working there. Sobro going to come in. Is 3 people enough to kill Zeus? No. The answer is no, ladies and gentlemen, as in comes Zeka, finds an Emperor's Divide. The handshake's decent, but not decent enough. And yeah, Zeus is a problem, and I do not have the solution.
Too late. And then he goes in here and is able to get the fully charged Q onto Diablo. Kellen does his best to help him out, but the bailout is actually super close here. He even flashes to try to guarantee it, but is unsuccessful. And Otacon does go over in the meantime, because you can't really take him down before the rest of the team can respond in most cases, which is already an issue.
Oh, Delight, that was sexy. I think he got the steal, right? I did see money come up over his head. All right, Raptor going to split the fight here, but the door is doing so much. Public execution into the backline as Sobero finds Viper. They execute him, they take him down. Remember, the Scion still exists. Zeka trying to get the DPS down, but he will fall. And Peanut, the next one, just throwing this club into the opposition. Diablo doesn't get bailed out. And it's so far a 2 for 2. The disengaged cone going to come on through there as Zeus, he doesn't quite have the keys to the train right now. And he only has like 700 health. Let's see whether that's going to be enough. Soul Furnace comes up, and he will explode, but there's 1,090 gold for Sobero.
That's a lot of money.
Played really well.
And then, like, Daystar is just constantly applying damage here, and Zeus ends up getting the kill on the other side. Is the dragon... Okay, we're just fighting for a dead dragon.
Yep, we're going for it again, as the culling is just going to be eaten by the entire team. Zeka on a great flank angle as the handshake onto Delight is not fantastic, and Raptor doesn't have that Crescent Guard anymore. Still, they take down Delight, but look at this AoE. It's kind of repulsive. Raptor knows that he's going to go down, and now, oh god, that is not the ticket that they wanted to pick up. As Zeus will find the angle, the flash forward from Kellen, he will be able to take down Viper here, who's just really not having his most fun day today. The revenge is going to be instant.
Problem for BNK, because even when they clear waves, the turret just says no, and then they end up getting the group up there, so... I don't think there was any world where they could have done a 25-minute Baron, but
all right, it's time to engage onto the Scion, and maybe it's going to work because Diablo is able to just get all of these Blight stacks on top of him. Hostile Takeover doesn't do too much, but it does enough. So Zeus going to start this fight off dead, and HLE in this 4v5 not going to be feeling too good about it. It could be a Baron angle here for BNK FEARX.
He used so much, though, and they still have to stick to the Baron, and Daystar's cut off. I don't know about this. Sobero's got a nice angle.
Oh god, this is that minute later that we were talking about before. He does actually have enough CDR to get that ulti back again as public execution. Once again, it is magnetized to Viper. Unfortunately, this time, they were not distracted. They just turn and they burn him down. Raptor now in trouble as Zeka will find the combo this time. It's a double kill as Viper's going to take the next one. That is 2 pair for now. Will they be able to find the full house with Daystar turning up as the door is going to block? The Ardent Blaze comes in. We just need a cute little dash, and that was a gorgeous pillar of filth there, Peanut. Beautifully done, and there it is. That's the full house, even if it isn't necessarily official.
Remember that story I told about Ambessa ulting onto the Lucian and then getting ulted by Peanut and then disappearing?
Yeah.
That was a theoretical world where that could have happened, and then it happened in reality there for Sobero in that last fight.
And it happened as you predicted. You know, sometimes the lab experiments in real life are kind of similar. As Nexus Turret number 2 going to be going down here as BNK FEARX desperately trying to defend, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Viper is just dashing around, trying to get a couple of extra kills, but the Nexus will explode, and HLE will take the win.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.